If we touch on Ireland, as you've said there, Sam Prendergast gets the jersey again at number 10. Last week in attack, as we know, brilliant, had all the touches, got the back line going. Ireland scored 6 tries. I know Jack Crowley come on for 20 minutes or around that mark. Are you surprised against such a big dominant pack, and their backs are huge, that he's getting another go? And also, what does that say? He clearly is number 1 in the pecking order. And how, well, you've talked about it a lot, that his physicality isn't as good as Jack, and we've seen that over the last couple of weeks. They're going to be running down his channel all day. Yeah, expected. Do you think he's going to tackle this weekend, or put in a stronger performances? And does that worry you?
Yeah, I think the pecking order to start was clearly Jack Crowley, and they were some of the headlines that people were saying on the back of the Leinster-Munster game. Jack Crowley had an exceptional performance, was player of the match. He went then to Chicago 2 weeks later, and he was the one starting. So, I think what does it tell me? It tells me that Ireland and Andy Farrell and his coaches have decided to say, let's just focus on our game first. So if it's worth the risk maybe of Sam Prendergast missing a tackle or a couple of tackles or whatever, or them targeting, which they will do. But our attack was better last week maybe, and that's where he has the strength over Jack. Seemingly that's what's part of this decision making, and to be fair, Ireland's attack went very well last week. So and I think they both, if you were to ask me about both players, I think Jack Crowley is stronger defensively and he's a more physical player if he carries the ball. Sam Prendergast's attack and function and ability to get the back line moving is probably at a higher level, and maybe stick to that structure and that shape that particularly Ireland, they went away from it a little bit since the World Cup in 2023 and probably kicked a bit more. His kicking game is very, very good as well, and he probably has more distance probably in kicks. And for the last, probably the second half of the game in New Zealand, it unravelled a bit for Jack Crowley, and he had a few kicks in behind the All Blacks defence and a few grubbers and stuff, and they didn't work out. And it probably looks worse than what it actually is. But they probably identified some space in behind New Zealand, and I think maybe Jack tried to force it a little bit. So I would imagine, we won't get you mightn't get the exact reasons there behind the coaches, but maybe it's just an inkling that the attack will work better with Sam Prendergast, and that's fine if it does.
Can you hide an international 10 defence these days?
It's harder these days, I think.
And as a back row,
well, I played with David Humphreys and Ronan O'Gara, and they'll both kill me for saying it, but neither were the best tacklers or defenders.
But there were speed bumps at least.
They were,
weren't they?
Yeah, they did. They did kind of throw themselves.
Are you saying they're better defenders than Sam? From what you've seen?
Well, their application is better in the sense of their body positions were probably much lower. I think this guy has an ability to tackle. That's not an issue, but I think his height is too high at times, and particularly side-on tackles. I think if people are running at them, he'll make tackles, but if it's the side-on ones, he's high and he gets fended a little bit. So again, look, it's there's absolutely no doubt. And
how much is that as want?
There's a little bit of desire needs to be in there as well, a better desire and a better just throw your body on the line. And so you kind of, look, I'm sure the coaches believe, and they've chatted to him about this, and it's something that, like, don't be under any illusions. Damien Dialende will be trying to get in there and fend him, and they'll try and work their back row to run at him as well. So it's probably part of the reason why Bundy Aki's in at 12 as well, to try and protect him and help him a little bit there, and Josh van der Fleer as a tail gunner off lineouts. But he's going to get contact. He's going to get physically questioned, and you know, it's a situation here that, you know, if he gets a big tackle in there and makes one, maybe it'll be a turning point. But
And then the other thing is, if he does okay in the physicality stakes this weekend, it'll
well,
be
it's a big step forward.
exactly,
But it
and
can
he
go
won't
the
get a
other way.
bigger pack, will he, to go against?
Yeah, it can go the other way as well. And look, no matter who he plays, he's you know, if no matter who he's playing this weekend, everyone tries to target.
But he won't play against a bigger set of players than South Africa up to
Yeah,
the World Cup, will
probably
he?
not. But you know, if he starts in the Six Nations, he plays against England. They're going to run after him as well, and Scotland will, and you know, physical players. And if he's going to stay at this level, and he needs to get better defensively. You know, the Len Ikitau try last week for Australia, you know, it's a soak tackle. So if you're playing South Africa at the weekend and there's one score in it, he's got to wrap there and wrap his legs around him and just jump on top of the player. And even if he soaks him over the line, to hold him up and get in under the ball. So look, it's a risk. It's a risk, and it's one that you know, I hope we're not talking about it afterwards. I hope we're talking about Sam Prendergast having a brilliant game and the attack really working well, and him being really effective with his kicking game as well, because he's outstanding at that stuff, and he does make this Ireland team probably tick a little bit better than Jack at times.
Which is vital if you want to win matches.
And look, at the end of the day, they have a very minimal number of games. There's very little room for error, in a sense of you play a bunch of games and then you're gone, and then you come back in for Six Nations. So they're all high pressured. So there's no kind of easy game that you can. Even against Japan, the line speed from Japan was so aggressive and so quick. So that's the level that you go at international level. So it's a big call. I really hope it works, and I hope that we're talking about a brilliant performance from him and Jack Crowley coming on for 15-20 minutes and hopefully, you know, him contributing massively as well.